All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our video for Sunday, September 7th. 33 days left till the beginning of the season, and about 3 weeks to go before we hit camp for the first 7 or 8 teams. So yeah, it's coming quick. What I want to do today is I want to do a comparison as far as some of the teams with how similar are they to last year. We're going to kind of look at last year's roster, this year's roster. Being that we're doing that, I did not include the 3 new teams. I am counting Topeka, Indiana, and PD. Very few similarities between PD and HC Venom, really. So I just wanted to kind of look at the other 11 teams and keeping in mind that some teams have been a little bit more aggressive, proactive in their recruiting this year, getting players signed. Some teams, a couple teams, still, not a lot has happened, but a lot is going to happen over the next 3 weeks. All right, so I'm going to go through alphabetically by city. So that's how these are arranged. Just looking at this. Okay, Athens. Now they have 10 players so far signed returning from last year. All right, there's still more work to be done, so don't worry. Yeah, this number is probably going to increase. All right, but at this point, 10 players. Some of the players that are signed, they're familiar with: Garrett Milan, Virgili Picard, Kolatarsi, Shinkarik, goaltender Lavalier. A couple of key additions that they have made. They just acquired Chris Mott in a trade with Topeka. And goaltender, the goaltender there, I forgot his first name, Carter McPhail. See, I'm still getting to know these players too. So Carter McPhail, D1 player. So he is coming in, looking to be the backup to Lavalier. Some players that you're not going to see, that you're going to miss, yes, but things happen. Things constantly change in minor league hockey. Avery Smith, he's now in Topeka. You have Josh Rosenzweig. He is in Biloxi. And Orca Weisblatt has joined former coach Steve Martinson in Allen in the ECHL. So very good for him. So, just a couple of additions, a couple of subtractions. And these are not like these names in black, the 6, they're not like the names. I'm just picking 6 names that are signed that you're probably familiar with. All right, the Baton Rouge Zydeco. So far, they have 13 players returning, so a little more than half of the team are returnees from a team that made the playoffs last year, looking to take the next step this year. Some key returnees: Ross Bartlett, Dmitry Kuznetsov, Tyler Garwood, Rio Namiki, Nick Catola, Bailey Stevens. They did add Hunter Hall, who ended up last year at the end of the year playing for Motor City, and Kim Mittinen. He played most of the year with the Dashers and was, a pretty steady defenseman. Yeah, the team gave up a lot of goals, but Mittinen was pretty steady. Key subtractions: Sammy Bernard, of course, he's in Topeka. Elijah Wilson, also Topeka, and Elias Thompson is now in Athens. So, they're going to look somewhat similar, pretty similar. All right, Biloxi, only 8 returnees, so they're going to look a lot different. And now these were one of the teams, Biloxi, that was a lot more aggressive with signing players. They've got pretty much a full lineup heading into camp. Maybe 1 or 2 tweaks more that Coach Charlie Penns will make. But right now, just returning from last year's Mississippi Seawolves squad, you have Dalton Anderson, Jackson Bond. I'm counting him as a returning player, even though he was gone a year. He played the first 2 years with Mississippi. He's back. You have Lucas Pekarczyk. You have Blake Keller, who really, his game really took off, especially in the second half of last year. Andrew Stacy, if he doesn't make an SPHL team, he'll be on the blue line. Philip Wong, he's been a staple, mainstay for Mississippi in their 3 years. He will be back. Coming in, you have Josh Rosenzweig, played for Coach Penns in Watertown a couple years ago. And Evgeny Demin. Now, he took a couple of years off from the Fed. He's still been playing actively, but he was a point per game player in Delaware a couple of years ago. So he is going to be bolstering the offense. So those are a couple of big additions. Faces you're not going to see. Matt Stoya is gone. Sam Turner, he is now in Monroe. And Ed Coffey, he's in Carolina this year. Goaltender Ed Coffey. Of course, the goaltending tandem is new. There are no returning goaltenders, which is why I put a little asterisk down below Philip Wong's name. So only 8 players. So, it's going to be a whole different team. And that's the idea. Obviously, Mississippi struggled. Biloxi is looking to get a new reputation. All right, Binghamton. They're going to look very similar to last year. 16 players as of right now returning from last year's squad. So, yeah, very familiar. Not many new changes. There are some new faces in camp. Some of the returnees, Tyson Kirkby, CJ Stubbs, Austin Thompson, Mark Stone, Jesse Anderson, and Connor McAnanima. A couple of new signees just got signed last week. Ivan Bondarenko and Mac Jansen both played in the SPHL last year. They will be joining Binghamton. You will not be seeing Don Oliveri. Chris Mott, who of course is up in Athens, and Kyle Stefan, he has decided to retire. So, but for the most part, you're going to see a very familiar team, and Binghamton's position is it's worked for 2 years. Why not try and make it work for a third? For the Blue Ridge Bobcats, they have right now 13 players signed from last year's squad. So, you're going to see some new faces, but you're going to see some familiar faces too. Carson Andrioli, Dan Martin, Blake Reller, Brandon Reller, excuse me. Why did I say Blake? Anyway, it's Brandon Reller, Dan Klinecki, Philippe Levac, and in goal, even though he just came on kind of at the end of the year last year, Anthony Schrum, he's back. He's going to be assumably the number 1 goaltender, but you don't know. Blue Ridge has 3 goaltenders on the roster right now that will be competing for a spot in camp. Big signees, Nikita Kazarev, that is the considered one of the really big pickups for Blue Ridge. And Robin Eriksson on the blue line. He's played in Sweden the last couple of years, looking to make a big splash for the Bobcats. Not returning, Connor Green, who is now in Columbus. Hunter Godmere is going to be playing in Hockeyettan, which is the second highest league in Sweden. And if you saw him play last year, yeah, he's earned that. Sava Smirnov, he's going to be playing the SP. All right, Columbus. They got off to kind of a slow start this summer, but they've been signing players progressively. And now they have 15 returnees. So you've got Ryan Galvin, you got Ryan Hunter, Cody Wickline, Nathan Balkwill, Brody Thornton, came on the latter half of last year and played very well. And of course, in goal, Trevor Babin. Additions, we have Connor Green, be sharing the crease with Babin, and Tyler Barrow, another player who's played very well in the SP. He is joining Columbus. Presumably, he's going to be that offensive spark that kind of replaces Justin McDonald, who retired. Scott Doherty, of course, he's playing in the ECHL. And Samanchik, he's been traded away. So those players you're not going to see. But it's going to be a pretty familiar squad in Columbus. I know a lot of fans down there were worried when you went through July and not much happened in the first part of August, but then the second part of August and the last couple of weeks, they've really been getting a lot of players signed. The Danbury Hat Tricks, it's going to be kind of a half and half. They've got 12 players right now returning. Keep in mind, with the time we have left, there's still going to be more player signings. So these numbers, they're just as of right now. The Hat Tricks, of course, have Johnny Ruiz coming back. You have Vadim Frolov, Noah Robinson. You have Josh LaBelle, Zach Pamelayan, Frankie McClendon, some of the players that will be coming back. Big addition, Connor Craig. I think he's going to have a phenomenal season. I just have a hunch that he's going to be one of those players that everybody notices this next year. Jesse Swanson, another big signee, one of AJ Galante's favorite. Missing, of course, will be Kyle Gonzalez. He retired. Heck of a guy, heck of a player. Dylan Hullaby, he moved back to, well, I guess you could say moved back to Monroe. Xavier Adela, he was traded out for Craig, so you won't see them. But it's kind of a mix right now. This is about what Danbury started with last year, about half the team returning from the previous year, half the team new faces, but good people. All right, Monroe, 12 players returning right now. Some of the familiar faces will be Yanni Lariakos, I can't say that, Dylan Hullaby, Rex Moe, the Moe brothers, actually, both of them returning, Frank Schumacher, and also Augustusson, he's coming back. Sean Kuhn in goal, fan favorite, obviously. Big signee was Andrew Ballant, who's been playing the last couple of years in the SP, playing very well. Connor Green, excuse me, Corson Green. Corson, his first name. He is coming to the Fed. He had signed early last year with Mississippi, but ended up playing the whole year up in the SP. So now he will be joining Monroe. Missing, not with the team anymore, Dustin Giseau is going to be playing in PED, of course. Cody Karpinski was traded to Indiana, and Blake Anderson moved up to Port Huron via trade. Speaking of Port Huron, they're going to be a pretty familiar team as well. I think the top teams as far as returnees, Binghamton, Columbus, and Port Huron. Port Huron has 15 returnees for this upcoming year. They were one of the more aggressive teams as far as signing players, and right now, the last couple of signings they've had are just new faces trying to compete for a spot in camp. So it's always good to have good competition going in the camp. Returning, of course, Matt Graham. You have Reggie Millette, Jamie Bussell, Alex Johnson, Ben Brockway, and Valtteri Nusiainen. Both goaltenders from last year, both big name goaltenders, are returning. You don't have coming back. I'm sorry. Well, you don't have Tucker Scantlebury, Dan Chartrand, and Braden Simmons-Fisher. Also, Yoshi Kuroiwa, he retired. But coming in, Blake Anderson, of course, via the trade. And in that same trade, Nick Favaro, he's going to be a good addition on the blue line, I believe. So Port Huron going to be very familiar. Carolina, this is one of the teams that always waits to the last minute to sign a lot of players. None of the Czechs have signed yet, but the key word there is yet. Right now, returning of the 10, you have John Batista, you have Roman Kramer, you have Nate Keeley, Stephen Ford, James Farmer, Tucker Firth. So far, no returning goaltenders. People are wondering, where's Gus Ford's name? Right now, we don't know about Gus Ford. That's an undecided right now. All right, coming in, goaltender Ed Coffey. He played very well in Biloxi for Mississippi last year. And Kyle Russell on the defensive end. Defensive group is going to look a lot different this year in Carolina. Not returning, Mario Cavallari. He has retired, as has Joe Kennedy. Dawson Baker, of course, this last week was traded to Athens. He wasn't going to be signing with Carolina. So Carolina got 2 players in return. All right, Watertown. This is the team that we don't know. We only have 5 players so far returning. A lot of players have moved to the SP or have gotten traded out. Right now, what you have is you have Quinn Chevers, Chase Tabari, Matt Gordon just signed. Stephen Klink signed a couple weeks ago, as did Kyle Powell. A couple of new faces. One of the trades this last week was Nick Gullo coming in. I think he's going to fit very well with the general plan of team play in Watertown. Jake Schultz, linesman last year, returning to play this year. Big subtractions were Trevor Lord, now in PD. Tate Leeson, don't know if he's going to be playing or not. And then Trevor Graspy got called up to the SP. So that's just kind of a very broad overview of how each team is going to look. Again, we aren't going to know for absolute sure on rosters until we get through camp and we get our final cuts down to the 20-man rosters. Right now, the established teams have 30, and teams like Indiana, PD, and Topeka can have up to 35 for their summer roster. Of course, that gets cut down within 48 hours of their opening game. And so that will be October 8th for 8 teams, since 8 teams are going to be playing on opening night, October 10th, which again is just 33 days away, just about a month left. So yeah, it's getting a lot closer. So I just wanted to give you a broad overview again of how every team is going to look. We still have a lot of question marks. And, things really aren't going to settle permanently with rosters until we get to about November 1st, because we have some players called up to the ECHL and SP, and then they don't make the team, so they are sent back down. It's going to take a while for rosters to stabilize. We go through this every year. October's pretty much just, it's the wild, wild west. So it is what it is. Life in minor league hockey. All right, so there we go. Thank you for watching and tuning in. Always remember to hit like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, would appreciate you doing so. And follow me on Facebook. That's where all the news gets printed up as it happens. Keep a watch on the Facebook page. Of course, just the Fed League Flash. All right, I am Gary Ryan. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday for news and notes.